Queen and Don't Stop Me Now. 14 minutes past 8 o'clock. Is that not the best getting ready to go out song in the world? I think it could well be. Could be my favourite Queen song. I'm not quite sure. Your favourite Queen song, Brian May?
Bloody hell. That's a bad start, wasn't it? It's probably... maybe it's The Miracle.
The Miracle?
Could be The Miracle.
It's The Miracle!
They've thrown me out now. I'm now out on the street.
Roger Taylor, your favourite Queen song ever?
You're playing it right now.
Because of the bass line? Because you don't have to work so hard on this song? Or?
No, there's a tough bit in the middle.
Is there?
No, I just like the collaboration, and I think it worked really well.
See, you come out with an expletive, and Roger comes out with the word collaboration. This is what we need here. This is the perfect combination.
That's it, innit?
We got Brian and we got Roger, and on Don't Stop Me Now, Roger, once again, you're working your socks off there. He did work very hard in this band.
He does work hard, it has to be said.
Yes. Yeah, no, actually it's fairly full on that one. Yeah.
What song gave you the best triceps? Would it be We Will Rock You, or...?
I think it was a thing called Dragon Attack, or Now I'm Here, which is a really old...
Now I'm Here. Yes, so was he the fittest, naturally the fittest in the band, Brian, because of what he was doing on those drums?
He probably was. He was doing a lot of stuff off stage as well to keep him fit, I think, you know.
Okay. Now, I had no idea, because I'm rubbish and stupid, right, that you were actually promoting the 9th anniversary of We Will Rock You, as opposed to...
Actually.
You didn't know that? Because I thought you were here to promote 120 years of Queen, and no, it's the 9 years of We Will Rock You.
I'm with you. I thought it was because we were so old and celebrating
It's because we're still here.
You are still here. You're fine, you're bushy-tailed and bright-eyed. But We Will Rock You, let's talk about it, because it is 9 years and there's a special performance next week.
Yeah.
And not bad for a West End musical nowadays, in fact pretty good considering the panning it got by the critics the day after the premiere. It was awful, wasn't it?
I know, they gave it a week, I think, and 9 years later we're probably stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, great.
I remember the guy, the bald guy in the Telegraph said, he started it off with I hate Queen.
Nice.
So I thought, well, this isn't going to be
balanced.
This won't be a good review.
Maybe you were the wrong person to go and review it.
Tell us about that first night. Were you genuinely nervous? You know, did you care about it that much?
Oh,
what happened after the show? Come on, tell us, Brian.
Yeah, a lot of work went into it. I mean, it is our baby still, you know, we take a great deal of care of it, and yeah, we were very up because it was a fantastic night, and on the night, you know, you got a great reception, and we all went home to bed thinking, God, we got a great success here. Then we got up in the morning and there was all this kind of vitriol in the paper about it, so we were quite miffed, really, rather sad.
Yeah.
But you know, the funny thing is, it made us stronger. It made the cast stronger, made us stronger, and we got in there and worked.
Also, we had to face the reality that it was a bit long, and we cut lots of bits out and we streamlined it. And even Robert De Niro liked it then, I think.
Yeah, no, so did he go along, did he?
Yeah,
he did indeed.
Yeah.
So you did listen to the critics in the way they did you a favour with their poison pens?
In a way, yeah. I mean, it really makes you wake up when you are facing the slings and arrows. And,
so how come? Because they are renowned for being able to close a production, aren't they? How come they didn't close? Is it because the fans were coming anyway? They'd booked up anyway?
We had great word of mouth, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was tough in the first few weeks, actually. I used to go and think, blimey, everyone's wearing a pullover.
Couple of things.
And they were, but... and it was just word of mouth, really.
Yeah, but also we had a couple of great things, one of which was the party in the Palace, which was televised, and everybody actually saw Tony Vincent sing Bohemian Rhapsody live with the whole cast, and they went, oh my God, that's what it is. So we got enormous sales after that. And there was a wonderful TV show, which we did.
I can't remember what it was.
But it and again, people just saw what it actually was, and there was a standing ovation in the studio.
Oh yes,
for
it was
the cast.
Parkinson,
and it was dear old Parky. Yeah,
that would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But what's interesting, you talk about you saw your audience, and you say, oh my goodness me, all these people are wearing pullovers. But that's because you don't normally get to see your audience because you're blinded by the lights. You know, when you're on stage as a band, perhaps they were always wearing pullovers.
We always imagined them as being young and fabulous.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they were, but I mean that's what happens, isn't it? You know, everybody grows old, and you accept that, and you grow old together. So 9 years on, what's going to happen next week? How do you celebrate this?
Well, I guess Brian's going to probably play.
Yeah, Roger's going to send me on to play.
Yeah. And I'll go on and take the applause.
We do actually appear on various occasions, not all the time, obviously, but it's a fun thing to do, to go on and play with the cast and with our band, who are magnificent. And I enjoy doing it, so I'll be on there. I'm not going to... Well, I could tell you. Normally there's a sort of apparition thing that goes on, so there's the Bohemian Rhapsody is a good moment to be a guitar hero.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to do another song as well this time. It's a little special
You're going to turn up. Noel
celebration.
Coward, famously, of course, he used to go and watch his plays, you know, he used to go and sneak in at the back. Often took the Queen Mother with him. Well, actually, I think she may have been the Queen at the time.
Wow.
And if he didn't like what the performers were doing, he'd go and play the second act himself.
Good Lord.
It must be nice to have that kind of power as an impresario. Say, guys, you know, we'll wander on today.
Yeah, I love the idea of other people playing our music, actually.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there and relaxing.
Just go on and take the applause.
So no pressure on the guitarist when you turn up, then? Poor kid. Who is the guitarist at the moment, you know?
We have still the original band from the very first days. It's amazing in the West End. 2 guitarists.
Yeah.
Laurie Wisefield.
Yeah.
And Alan Darby.
Yeah.
Both amazing players in their own right. You know, both come with a great pedigree.
2 for 1. Is it to say 2 of them to be one of him?
It's very hard
Exactly.
to be me, Chris.
He wasn't going to say that. But
No,
you
they're
twigged
brilliant.
Yeah, because when you held your 2 fingers up, I wasn't quite sure what you were doing there. I thought you'd had a round before and you just get your own back. Friends Will Be Friends from Queen, 8:23. We had that up very loud in the studio, not loud enough for Roger, so he put his headphones on. You want it louder, Roger. How are your ears? How are your ears after all this playing rock and roll all these years?
well, I'm a little bit deaf, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, and-
Surrounded by those drums
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole time. Does it bother you?
Yeah, it does a bit, because I have the TV up too loud and annoy everybody.
You're on Roger volume. What about you, Brian?
I have a little damage, yeah, mainly from Roger, I think. Because I had Roger's snare in my left ear for most of our career, so there's a little bit of, if you look at the graph, you know, when they test them, there's a little nick in it. There's a little dent around 3K, I think.
Because I talked to Bono about this, and he said he's got no hearing damage whatsoever, which is incredible, isn't it, really?
Wow.
Is it? No, yeah, it is incredible.
But I suppose they're more protected now because they have those.
Yeah.
You have your ears in, don't you?
Well,
the whole time?
don't. I don't personally. I can't really work with the things. I still work off speakers. You know.
Do you?
Yeah, and well, I need it, and the guitar needs it really. I can't work in a space with no real sound around. It just doesn't work for me.
Now, for kids listening, you didn't start on the guitar, did you?
I started on piano.
I thought you said you start on another stringed instrument.
And ukulele, which my dad taught me. That's right. Yeah,
So what were you
George
first?
Formby style.
Ukulele or piano?
The ukulele informally and the piano formally. I had
Listen to
piano
you.
lessons.
Listen to him, informal and
Yes,
formal
they're
all of a
different
sudden.
outfits.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You know, like if you play squash, it's really bad for your tennis. Apparently, is that right, Johnny?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and the other way around.
Yeah.
If you play ukulele, does it help your guitar playing or does it take away from it?
It helped me. It taught me how to play rhythmically, I think, yeah. I mean, George Formby was the great icon, you know, and still is the great example of how to play a ukulele. So, no, it definitely helped.
So ukulele to guitar, biscuit tin to drums for you, Roger?
No, saucepans, actually. And it really was, with wooden knitting needles.
A first drum kit, come on.
Well, it was my mum's saucepans and her wooden knitting needles, and then a cheap Olympic drum kit, I think, which cost
The
about
Olympic drum
£9.
kit.
I think.
And what did you aspire to? What was the drum kit you dreamed
Oh,
of?
a Ludwig, a silver glitter Ludwig drum kit.
Now, the Ludwig
American.
lady, the daughter of the Ludwig, the man who started Ludwig, was on our show once. And they still own the company. They're still a family-owned company. Have you been? They've got a museum, I think. Have you been to that museum?
I've been to the factory in Chicago. Yeah.
And they're unrivaled, aren't they, in cymbal making and drum making?
Well, not cymbals.
Oh,
No,
it's
they're made by different companies, but no, it's mainly drums.
They are the drums guys.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could take one drum with you when you go, which drum would it be?
Oh, it'd be my bass drum, I think.
Would it be the bass? See, I would have gone for like.
Which is a different make, actually. Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, you know you're big. You know you're big when we don't even ask people for questions, but they send them in anyway. So here's a couple of these. Can you confirm in front of your 9 million listeners, says Jeff in Leicester, that I'm right here? Sounds like there's a bet on. Could the Queen Boys confirm that Fred got his surname from the Leicester Mercury newspaper whilst up there with John Deacon?
That's a no.
No, that's definitely a no.
Is it a no? It's a good ruse, though, isn't it? Where does that come from?
I don't think he's ever been to Leicester, actually.
All right, Chris,
Lovely though it is.
I'm 17 and I'm the biggest Queen fan in Herefordshire. How do you know? Was there a Herefordshire Queen fan check? For as long as I can recall, I've loved Queen. They are the pinnacle of music. Just wondering who Brian and Roger are rooting for in the Champions League final tomorrow, Roger.
Well, I'm a bit fed up with Man U at the moment, so I suppose the English team.
You've got to go.
Really, yeah, I've got to.
Brian?
Yeah, I would be the same. I'm not a big partisan, you know. I like to watch it if it's on, you know, but I don't really like support people. It's kind of not in my psyche, really.
Well, what is in your psyche? You love astrophysicism, don't you? Or
I
physics?
do, yeah, that's kind of how I was brought up, really. I was supposed to be an astrophysicist.
And another famous Brian, you know, Dr. Brian Cox.
Indeed.
Professor Brian Cox. Do you know him? Do you get on with
I
him?
do, yes.
Do you talk stars? You two stars?
We talk stars and music and all sorts of other things. Yeah, he's great. I think he's really been a shot in the arm for the English communication of astronomy to the next generation.
And he loves his music. Have you thought about collaborating?
No, actually, no. But I think we're pretty busy. We're both pretty busy. You know,
Hey.
but you never know, do you? I mean, Patrick, of course, is my other great friend in astrophysics, and he's a musician too.
Patrick Moore?
Of course, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no, he's a fabulous musician. He's not very well now, so he can't play his xylophone and his piano and everything now. And he can hardly use his telescopes, poor chap, you know, but his brain is as sharp as ever. And he's very into music, yeah, it's been most of his life.
So astrophysics for you to kick back, literally. What about you, Roger? Come on.
Well, I love watching the football, actually. I like watching Chelsea.
Did
well,
you do
not
sailing
recently.
for a bit? Were you a
No,
sailor?
sailing, I love being on the water.
You any good?
Not really,
You
no.
raced?
Yes.
You've been
but
sponsored?
I do it in a gentleman's kind of way. You know, I have a gin and tonic and everybody else does the work.
All right, well, good luck. It's 8:28 now. Moore is here, standing by for the headlines. Johnny, you're ready too. Mm-hmm. OK, in the presence of greatness, this is fantastic.
Yes.
You know, 4 people looking back at me. I don't know what to say here. You look like a band waiting to happen, to be honest. But you haven't really got time now, so let's do the travel first, shall we? So get Lynn in, then we'll do the news, then we'll play a record, and then we'll do headlines. OK, is that all right with everyone? OK, all right. Let me get the travel bed in, and we'll sort that right out now. Here we go. BBC Radio 2. Thank you, Lynn. 8:28.
Thank you, Edinburgh City Bypass. It's been busy eastbound from Gilmerton to the...
Those are the BBC headlines. Our next news at 9 o'clock.
All right, Maury, get back in here.
You gonna take me home tonight? Oh, down beside that red firelight. Oh, you gonna...
Queen, Fat Bottom Girls. Great to play Queen whilst Queen are actually here. That's always a good thing to be able to do, isn't it? Never done it before. Gentlemen, you're very welcome. Brian May, Roger Taylor here with us this morning. We're talking stories, so we've got to get to headlines in a moment. Moira, Johnny, I promise you we will. OK, and Brian and Roger will mark headlines. By the way, it couldn't be more exciting. It's 2-2 after 4 days play. However, just talking about great signatures, the signing of contracts. Just tell the story again, please, if you don't mind. The story you were talking about whilst that song was on.
Well, I was in the process of buying my first sort of big flash house.
Yeah.
It was very cold, and I hadn't actually got the house, but I got permission to film We Will Rock You video, actually, in the garden. And we were all there. We all got rather drunk, I think, on brandy, and we ended up huddling in the back.
It was snowing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was snowing,
snowing,
yeah. And we were in the back of Fred's new roller, which he was very proud
His
of.
first Rolls
So
Royce.
it was it's a battle of acquisitions, you know, and we signed this contract rather drunk in the back of his roller in the snow.
So was the contract for your house or for the band?
No, it was for the band. It was some sort of record contract.
It was a record deal, yeah, amazing.
So you're in your Rockstar pad.
And between drunken takes of We Will Rock You, we were doing... No, we were in the garden. We weren't allowed in the house yet.
All right, so you were in the back of the car keeping warm, basically, or just
exactly.
relaxing, kicking back.
Keeping warm, keeping warm.
So Roger bought his Rockstar pile, and why the heck not? Freddie bought his silver roller. What's the first purchase you made, Brian?
Oh, good luck. What, of a house?
Your first Rockstar. Your first, like, I can do this now. Don't be embarrassed about it. We just want to know. It's aspirational.
I'm not a very rock star kind of person in a way. I don't know what that
How many
would be,
houses have
Chris,
you got,
really. I suppose I do now. I'd have to think about that, really. I mean, we were all quite shocked when Roger splashed out on this huge sort of pile, and we thought he'd overstretched himself, but it turned out he got a fantastic bargain, and he was in there for 27 years, is that
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
And what's
Man
interesting?
and boy.
What's interesting about that is that was because the album at the time, your last album was hugely successful, and you thought, well, I can buy this now, and your agent said, well, not really, not unless the next one's as successful. And you went, oh,
Well, you've got to have faith, haven't you?
it might that not happen? Yeah.
We were going into debt at the time. The story of that, it's even more bizarre than that, isn't it? Because we went there to record, actually, to make a video of You're My Best Friend, and it was indoors, isn't that right? Isn't that right? And We Will Rock
Spread
You...
Your Wings, that's
Ah, Spread Your Wings, Spread Your Wings, right.
Yeah.
But We Will Rock You was just tacked on as an afterthought, and we were all freezing to death by that time. You can see our noses are all red and our lips are blue.
Yeah.
And that's why we clambered in the Rolls
Yeah,
Royce.
we didn't think it'd be a hit.
And now, famously, you had the Mill at your house, which is where
Yes.
you had a huge recording studio in there.
Yeah.
And is that where you recorded a lot of Queen songs?
Not a lot. We did a lot of the very last album, Made in Heaven, there. But we didn't do much Queen stuff. I did a lot of solo stuff down there.
But when the band did come and record at your place, did you charge them rental?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah. A turnstile put in.
All right, fantastic. Let's have some headlines. We're going to be talking about 2 special documentaries coming out over the bank holiday weekend to do with Queen, because they're 200 years together, aren't you, this year, which is
I
just...
think
at
it's
least 200,
It was
yeah.
250.
Just amazing, all right. Johnny Saunders, Moira Stewart, headlines. Today, Johnny has stories from the papers under the headlines of Regal, Mistaken and Bumpy. Moira has Beep, Classy and Ploughing. It's 2-all. It's all about today. And Brian and Roger are judging. So, Johnny, give us Regal, please.
Footage of a long-lost Queen performance is to be screened thanks to the late Dick Emery. The comedian accidentally taped the 70s Top of the Pop show featuring the band because it was on just before one of his own shows. Emery's recording will be shown on the documentary Queen, Days of Our Lives on BBC Two on Sunday evening.
I see you getting in with the Queen boys there. OK, good luck, Moira, with Beep.
Almost everyone at some time in their life will remark that a zebra looks like a barcode. And now, in a classic case of science imitating nature, a scanner has been invented that can identify individual animals. And that's not all. It's hoped that the stripe spotter can one day be used to identify giraffes.
All right, guys, are you going for the Queenie story with Dick Emery or the zebra as a barcode?
I'm not sure I understood the zebra one. That's...
Well, does it matter?
Queen story is true.
The Queen story is...
The other one I would doubt.
Very brave. You go a Queen story with Queen.
Giraffes
putting
don't
a
have
zebra
stripes,
up.
I'm sorry. They have blotches.
It's intellectual coming out. The giraffe
Very
don't have
good, though.
stripes.
Very good.
All right, Maury, come on, give us Classy now. Bounce back with that.
As it approaches its 9th anniversary, the musical We Will Rock You is still hitting the mark and inspiring musicians all over the world. Mark Wood, a founding member of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra and inventor of his own electric violin, has paid tribute to the West End hit in his own unique way. Mr. Wood also involved 320 students whilst performing the rock anthems at the Electrify Your Strings event.
Nice story. Johnny, you got mistaken against that one there.
A man spent 9 years building a 2-seater plane in the basement of his house and then realised he had to knock down a wall to get it out. Dan Reeve from Pennsylvania assembled the plane from various mail-order pieces but realised too late that it was going to be too big to get up the steps. Undaunted, Reeve dug a trench down to the foundations and took a wall out. He pulled the plane out using a truck, a chain and some neighbours.
He's sounding confident, isn't he, Moira, there?
He is,
All right,
absolutely.
so the We Will Rock You story or the plane stuck in the basement story? Roger.
Well, I have to say, I think the plane stuck in the basement was funny.
I think
Brian.
they're both true, obviously.
Which one are you going to go for?
I'll go for the Queen one.
Oh, it's a split decision here. Well, that means I get
Chairman.
the vote. I get the vote. OK, it's going to the Queen story. So it's 1-1, which means we can have a decider. That's the only reason. Johnny Bumpy, please.
A recruitment consultant from Essex is celebrating after breaking the record for the longest Dodgem car ride. 28-year-old Laura Bing completed her 25-hour drive at Southend's Adventure Island Fun Park. She beat the previous record set by Austrian Sebastian Bosch in 2007 by more than an hour, but is still awaiting official confirmation that she's made it into the Guinness Book of Records.
Moira.
An 18-year-old from Astley Bridge in Bolton has defied prohibitively high car insurance costs by driving his family's tractor. After being told he would pay £17,800 a year to insure his little runaround, Chris Berry turned to the 1953 Fordson Major sitting in the garage. The 4-litre beast costs just £57 to insure and requires no MOT.
Who are you going with, Brian?
Moira's.
Yeah, you go. OK, Roger.
Yeah, the tractor. I can relate.
Yeah. To the post right at the end there. Johnny.
As usual.
By decree, by royal appointment,
Yes.
you lost.
Yeah.
Rain that falls in Sahara Desert says it